Yes, you are listening to Visionary Talk Radio with Reverend Bagan Tewa D'Lamb, Christ Consciousness, right here. Again, good night to all my people around the world as we talk about the mother, the nation, our father. That is what the Bible talk about, the mother and the father. He say, respect the mother and the father that your days will be longer on this earth, That is so profound, That is so right, What is the mother? We know the mother represents the church because I've been talking about it a good while. The mother represents the church. Who the father is the heavenly father. Right, so there gotta be an order to everything, and a lot of our people, we don't like that. We want to do as we please. We do whatever, that is how we want to do it. That is how we want to do it. All right, and that not going to work. It's not going to work, and it's not been working. Right, we want to do as we want to do in the society, and there is a price for that. There is a price for that, for arrogance and ignorance. There is a price. So we don't want to continue the suffering among our people. Listen, I believe we can live anywhere that we want to live, whether it's in space, whether it's around in Japan, Europe, wherever we want to live as black people in the world. But we got to understand one thing. There is rules, there's regulation. And the moment we stay away from the rules and regulation, we're going to fall apart. And that is what we see. That is what we see going on with our people. We are falling apart more and more each day. Even simple things that we take for granted. Even the simple things that we are not seeing in our communities anymore. Less and more, less is more of our tradition is just going out the window. Simple things as even good morning. These are some of the ancient rules. You wake up in the morning and you say good morning to your neighbor. Why? Because your neighbor were your family, your neighbor were your friends, your neighbor were your cousins. You grew up with these people, your community. So we ancient people, we know all the importance of saying good morning, because when we say good morning, we're not just saying good morning, good night to strangers, your community and your family. That is the first thing, right? So once you begin to understand these things, your community is not made of strangers. Your community is supposed to be made of your family, right? Each man is your brother. That is what it's about. So once we fall into those category of understanding it, we have a good chance to survive. Every other culture understands that. There are rules that you don't break. There are rules we got to enforce in our community. Simple things, that we begin with if we don't understand the greater self. Understanding the greater self, this is what the Bible talk about. When the Bible speak about the rules and regulation, that the rules are made for the lesser ones, the ones who don't understand how to elevate themselves, how to bring themselves out of this darkness, how to educate themselves within the community. Many people don't understand that, and how can you make your community work for you? There are certain people in the world, because of their community, they don't even, it's so rich and varied, it's so rich that they don't even have to leave their community to get a job, to get a position. They don't. All right, so we got to understand that until we claim these concept that we should not want to leave our community to get a job. I'm not saying you should not go and visit other community or go vacation and things like that. I'm not saying that. But when it comes to the real thing as hospitals and doctors and things like this is what I'm speaking about. You should not have to leave your community to go to a doctor. You should not have to leave your community to get a lawyer. We should not have to do these things. We should not have to leave our community to go to a decent school. We should not have to do these things. All right, but we find ourselves, we always have to leave our community because of the condition that the community find itself in. Who make the community? This is the first thing. If our community is dirty, if our community have crimes, if our community is not doing good as other community, it means to say we allowing these things to happen. Ain't nobody else is making it happen. Regardless, let's say you live in a private place, let's say you rent it, let's whatever. It's your duty to keep it clean wherever you live in. Right? But we have to talk this way to the ones who don't understand this. It's your duty to keep your community clean. Yes, I understand you renting most people, right? And you just don't care. Most people just don't care. But still, we complain. You see, it don't make sense. We don't care, but yet we complain our community is not good. So what do you think going to happen? I'm not saying all our people that way. No, I will not do that, because I know all our people are not this way. Now, to the ones who live that lifestyle, who sit back and want things ready-made, what do you think will happen to those people? Let's say they get their hands on some money, right? And they move out away from their community and they do whatever they do. Don't you think they're going to keep it the same way? Of course they will. A lazy man is a lazy man. You know, he's not going to change his attitude because he wins some money or gets some money, or his parent died and give him some money. He's not going to change his ways. It don't work that way. That is why people talk about developing the community. The community cannot develop by itself. It's the people got to develop the community until the people change their direction in thinking about what belongs to me, what don't belongs to me. You see, we got to understand that, and that will change our community with that education and inspiration. As I always talk about, education and inspiration goes together, right? It goes together. So once you begin to have that education about self, the education most I'm talking about is self-education, knowing self, right? Knowing self. Right, so once you get into that inspiration education, we begin to understand how to coordinate, how to lift ourselves from poverty, and this is what I'm talking about. How do we lift ourselves from poverty with the proper education? You see, some people have this belief that someone will do something for them. It never worked that way. Nobody gonna do nothing for you. Life is not that way. They haven't been doing it for 30 years, 40 years. They're still not gonna do it for you. I think it's time a lot of people wake up and realize if you don't do it, nobody gonna do it for you. It's a reality. Why do you think some people find themselves 50 and 60 and all 70 and still waiting for someone to do something for them? Because they believe in that ideology. Wait for someone until they're ready for you. No, you gotta change that ideology. You gotta change that system within you that you gotta do for self. And the only way you can do for self is to learn. Is to learn. Learn a trade, learn something, do something for yourself. And sometimes we don't see that happiness, we don't find that joy, we don't see what you call, we don't find that gratification in certain things. But listen, it don't work so all the time. Sometimes the gratification don't come first. Sometimes you do something, and when you look at it, you say, oh my God, did I do this? You feel good. Sometimes life works that way. But if you sit all the time and expect strangers and people to do things for you, it will never work. This is where we got to be aggressive in our ideology, in our thoughts and things like that. We got to be aggressive as poor people in the world. All right, so we got to wake up and see the reality that no one cares for you. You see? People only care when they see you get something, it's real. They only care when they see you lifting up yourself, you elevating yourself. They have an interest because the world as it is today. Nobody cares about nobody. Only when you got something, the world start to look at you. Listen, I'm a man with experience. I can tell you, when you have nothing, your friends don't want to know you. That is why I made a rule in my life. I made a rules, and I understand certain things. That I'm not going to make the first move. You see, I learned that because I understand that people waiting for you to culminate, they're waiting for you to go up that ladder. So not to pull you down, but to get something. They don't want to do it themselves, but they're waiting for you to do it so they can get something. I've experienced that with a lot of people. But as I grow and I understand the world a little better, I understand how things work. Until you come to that fruition, until you come to that place and understand the world, until you have something, people want to back you up. You see, but they're not going to take a chance on you because that is the community mindset. It's a mindset. I'm not going to do nothing for you if you don't show some kind of what you call motivation, or if you have the self-esteem, or you do something. Then I'm going to come in and do something, but you got to do something first. You see, that type of mindset, that is what poor people, it's a poor mindset. It's a poor mindset. This is what brings poverty. This is not entrepreneurial thinking. That is poor people think. And I can go and show you, a lot about poor people, how they think in their community. And don't think of it as an insult. Of course not. I love my people, right? So I will never say anything provocative or towards the culture, nothing like that, or offensive towards my own culture. But at the same time, we got to speak the truth. We got to speak the truth. We got to make the people know what keep you in poverty. You see, and these are some of the things that keep our people in poverty, when we don't want to respect the foundation. The foundation is a springboard. You see, someone laid the foundation, and once that person laid that foundation, we have a good opportunity to look into the people's mind, to look into the minds of the people. You see, let's see what Marcus Garvey been through. Let's see what Kwame Ture live his life. Let's see this one. Let's see how it work. Let's begin to understand Harriet Tubman. Let's begin this way. What is the result? Let's see the failure. Let's see the success among these people, so we can abstract it. You see, but we don't want to do this. And how I know? Because we can see the same repeat over and over in the community. It's a cry, it's a complaint, it's the same thing. It's over and over and over, and nothing change. All right, so, and why will nothing change? Because we do things in a poor way. Someone do something to you, you get angry, you strike back, you go back to sleep. Someone shoot your son in the community, you rage and you rant and you do all of these things, and then you go back to the things that you were doing. You see, and what do the enemy do? He go back also and do the things that he was doing, come back again in the community, and do the same thing over and over. It's a repeat. It's a repeat. How do we stop the repeat? We got to once and for all change our mind. It's the mindset you got to change. There's nothing wrong with you. It's the mindset. It's the thinking that what you got to change. The understanding of the world work, human psyche, human mind, how the human mind works. You see, but if you are too, indolent, or lethargic to understand it or to educate yourself, not to stay in, I don't like the word bottom, but I'm going to say it, in the bottom of the society, the lowest chain of society. There's a pecking order to this thing. You see, but most of us don't understand that pecking order. We don't really understand these things. All right, there's an history of it go. There's forms we gotta follow, to get into this direction. We're talking about communicating as poor people. We're talking about elevating one another. There gotta be a black print. They got to. They must have that what you call African love amongst the people. If you don't have that African love among your people, we'll always be going in circles and circles. Listen, this is all we gotta do it. It begins with the love. Listen, you can have any revolution. You can have a gun revolution. You can have an education revolution. You can have a water revolution. You can have whatever revolution. When I say revolution, changes. You can have whatever changes that you desire. And let's say you can want to change the pillow of society, but if you don't have that love, you cannot change. The change will be there, of course, but it will be just in the cycle of things. It will just go play within the community back and forth, because the love is not there to elevate the love, what you call love revolution. That love revolution is not there. We can't have a revolution without love. And in love now, this is what we must do. Love one another. That is how simple it is. It's a simple thing. It's not a difficult thing. You see, sometimes people think revolution is about instilling fear in one another. That works for some people, but it will not work for all of the people, because we know once you instill fear in the people, that is just ephemeral. You can instill fear into the nation, but those things are ephemeral. I'll say it again. It's not going to last as long. Yeah, someone will be scared of you, someone will be afraid of you, but the moment that person get an opportunity to run, the fear gone. They will run. It means to say the fear is gone. The moment that person get a chance to attack, they will attack. Because if the fear gone, they will attack you. You see, and if the fear is there, they're not going to do nothing. But if we have this revolution with love, I'm talking about, the revolution is to put our people together, so we won't have to beg and suffer and beg the world to give us a penny or a job or any other thing. And wherever you are, build your community. That is how simple it is. So we cannot do that without the love. Because what we are seeing now in this society, we are seeing people are doing their own thing. You suffer. They don't care. You fall by the roadside, they pass you by. Some of them will even drive over you. Right? Some may pass and say, "Hey, how you doing? What's wrong?" That is about it. They will run over you. This is the unconcerned. This is so what you call erroneous. Is a shame. This is so erroneous. It's wicked. So we give up on one another. You know, like I said yesterday or no, day before, I'm not talking to a race who had never been in slavery. I'm not talking to a race that have every food on the table. I'm not talking to a people who never been broken before. I'm talking to a race that been breaking apart for many and many and many, probably 500, 600, 700 years now. And it's the same thing over and over. Right? It's the same thing. Until we change our attitude towards life and to ourselves and our respect and dignity for ourselves, it will not change. So maybe some people may say to you, well, I got respect, I got this. Listen, it's not about you. And that's why I keep saying it's about a community. You alone can have a love that's not going to do any good for you. The love have to work with one another. So you can have it and I don't have it. Don't we need to, I have it and you have it. That is how it's going to work. That is how it's going to work. I cannot say God love me and he don't love you. That's not going to work. For we to understand it, we all got to do the same thing for it to work. If I'm doing something over here and you doing something over there, that is like we have a backs that turn against one another. But if you believe in the same law, or if we believe in the same love, that means say we gonna work together as a nation and build our people. You see, and that is why I always talk about where is the hospitals, where is the doctors, where is the lawyers, and things like that. And that is what I'm talking about, building a nation. If you look at most of the companies, whether it's in the USA, Canada, London, and these places, if you look at the market and you see the people who are building the houses, most of the time the companies that building those big mansions and skyscrapers and things, it's not black folks doing it. Right? So let's be real. If you look at the car factories, black folks in Africa is not making cars. We buy cars, but we are not making cars. You understand what I'm talking about? So who are creating all these jobs for the people? You know, when people talk about United States immigration coming to take the job, I always say to them, what job? What job you create? And if you ask any of these people, the natives in this country, they will say to you, they don't even want some of these jobs. Let's be real. They don't even want the type of jobs. All right? Most of this type of job is beneath them. So when we quick to judge, immigration is coming, immigration coming to take this, immigration to take this. Listen, this United States is an immigration country. That is the first thing. A lot of people don't understand that. Everyone come from somewhere else. All right, so I think we got to understand the politicians and the games with the jobs. There's some good books I could refer to you guys to read. You know, right now the name of the guy is not on my mind, but understanding how government play with the people. You see, when they don't want to pay you, they bring someone in who want a job for cheaper. That is the politics. That is the democracy they deal with. All right, that is how they deal with the people. They don't want to pay you the job. They're gonna take foreigners, more foreigners. All right, so we gotta put it together and understand. When government is opening the border, is sometimes not for the care for other people. They could care less about you. It's always about cheap labor. It's always about that. If they can get their way, you know, be millionaires for cheap labor, of course they're going to do it. This is how the human being mind work, especially if you live in certain parts of the world. The mind is shaped that way. That is the culture. Get it cheaper. They don't care if you have to go to Mars to bring aliens to get those jobs. They're going to do it. If the aliens say, well, wait a minute, I'm going to take a penny a day. You think those millionaires not going to do it? Of course they're going to do it. It have nothing to do with skin color. It have to do with wealth. It have to do with how much money they can make for the day. It's all about economy. It's all about the economy. It's all about riches. You see, it have nothing to do with you. You see, you got to understand it. When you talk about, oh, they're coming in to take jobs. Oh, they're going to do that. Do you think that they care about who go to prison? They make money. It's about making money. That's keeping you in prison. They make money. So we must understand it. You see, crime make money. This is what people don't understand. And if you do understand it, for some reason, you don't want to see it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a break right here. You're listening to Visionary Talk Radio with Reverend Bagan Tewa D'Lamb, Christ Consciousness.
3, 2, 1, 0.